Hello! Here and now, I would like to do a review of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, the new, most recent Ghostbusters movie. And to help, I would like to do a list of the bad, the great, and there's not much else. And I would like the help of my little book of secrets for this review. Now, for the bad, we start out with an obvious one. I looked at like 10 Letterboxd reviews before this, and this issue was mentioned in probably 7 of them. There are way too many characters. They start suffocating the movie with all of their tiny little hands, and the movie is choked at the throat, and the movie is like, why did I do this to myself? Oh, it's because all these old actors wanted cameos and then I added in like 5 more that didn't need to be there. I'm gonna read out a list of all of the characters. So there's the OG Ghostbusters, there's one main one, and then there's 3 more, and then there's the girl. There's all the new ghosts. I'd say there's like 3 new ghosts if I'm being nice. There's the science team, which adds in two or 3 more characters. It's hard to remember because there's so many of them. There's the Spanglers, there's 3 of them, and then there's the teacher, then there's Lucky, she's also part of the science team, but I didn't count her before. There's the mayor, who's also part of the original. There is new Firebender Man, and his lore with his grandma. I'm counting it if I'm being mean. There are way too many characters. There is no time. There are so many plot points that get thrown to the wayside, or they just don't matter after a certain point, or they start and then maybe the filmmakers realize that they didn't have enough time for a resolution. Like the British guy this is also part of my bad list. I thought he was annoying, but I can't tell if that's just because he's British. But there's no time for like anything to happen with the plot lines. I wrote down some here. The teacher guy, it's set up pretty strongly at the start that he, after 3 years have passed, he wants to be more of a father figure for the Spangler kids, Trevor and Phoebe. But this starts at the start and then it kind of doesn't appear, and he doesn't appear for the whole second half of the movie. It just doesn't come up. So at the start he's like, yeah, I wish I could be a dad for these kids, and then he's like kind of a dad for Phoebe at one point and she reacts badly, and then it's over, it's done. One of the other ones, oh my gosh, Trevor and Lucky, they were a huge thing in Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was really cute, and it was like the main thing, the not conflict but like thing that was going on with their characters, and it was fun, and it was kind of the B plot of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I really liked how that movie was set out. But in this movie they talk to each other actually like no times, which is really weird for the filmmakers to do, because I think their dynamic as actors and characters is so natural and it's so cute, and they didn't even bring up the fact that Trevor has a crush on Lucky, which is their whole bit in Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's weird. It's like they call back so many things from the original Ghostbusters, and then they don't call back that many character plot lines from Ghostbusters Afterlife. It was just a weird decision to make. I don't know. Maybe that's because I'm biased towards the 2 characters. And oh my gosh, there's like, I didn't even write this down. There's like this slime monster thing that Trevor encounters early in the movie, and then he like doesn't do anything. Like he has like one moment at the end, he doesn't do anything. That was a very heavy criticism of what I think anyone could take away is probably the thing that drags the movie down and what keeps it from elevating, because I feel like they had so much good stuff there and so many great plot lines, but they were just bogged down. Guys, I forgot to include podcast in my list of characters. I just realized. I'm sorry, podcast. So here's a lighter criticism. The flame effect and on the new Ghost Girl is kind of bad. It's kind of bad. It is funny because Phoebe's like, oh, cool flames. And you're like, oh, you shouldn't have pointed that out, Phoebe. I'm looking at it again now and it's not amazing. Oh, there's this superhero dilemma with the mayor where they're like, and you guys keep making all this property damage. It doesn't even justify the ghosts you bust. And you're like, did someone read a Marvel criticism right now? Where are we? This is Ghostbusters. Also, why is that guy here? We already have too many characters. It's the first 5 minutes of the movie. I lied before. There's actually a third section, which is why I paused at the start, and it's called Miscellaneous, and it goes in the middle. How miscellaneous is that? I'm starting off the Miscellaneous section with a peek at my notes during the movie. It was really dark in the movie theater. Here's me trying to underline this sentence. My first miscellaneous point is that they kind of have a specialized team going, where they all have like a thing. Trevor is like the mechanic, and then Phoebe's like the brains, and then the mom is like she's the mom, and then the teacher is like kind of irrelevant in this movie, but they try to give him a plot line. I'm being mean again. Lucky is like she's the sensible head of the team, and then a podcast is like kind of like the public relations side. I like that. I like that they all have a thing that they're doing. It's also miscellaneous. Trevor and Lucky are a hunch ex non-hunch couple, and you can tell because Trevor's hunch is very pronounced. I don't know if Finn Wolfhard just like stands like that in real life because he's like tall, or if that's just a character decision he made. But it's amazing, it's on point, it's perfecto, it's delicioso. I'm just saying all the Spanish words I know now. I just wrote down here that I like Lucky. I think she's a great character. This was part of my negatives, but I like kind of said it. I wish she was included in the movie more. You see her like partway in and you're like, oh my god, I just remembered Lucky. I love Lucky. Oh my god, Lucky, come back. And then she kind of gets sidelined, which because they just added in all these new characters. I'm just nodding at myself. Oh, I thought it was so cool. This is kind of getting into the good things. I thought it was so cool how the big villain was animated. I thought they might have been some stop motion or just a stop motion like effect. And it looks so good because the rest of the ghosts in the movie are obviously made using something else, like a different style, like the flames on the girl, which are bad. But then you have this big villain and it's almost like he's breaking the dimensions of the world to be just stylistically so different. I thought they had big balls in the finale. They make a specific joke where Firebender Man like slides down, it's a callback, he like slides down a fire pole in full armor, and I could tell that they were being ballsy with that move because it's right in the middle of the height of all of the action, and it really depends on if you find it funny or not. And I found it funny and I liked it. But I feel like if someone was to make a video essay where they like hated the movie, I don't hate the movie by the way, they'd probably play a clip of that and they'd be like, this movie sucks. That'd be their cold open. This is the good section. I loved all the characters. I love them. I love their dynamics with each other. I wish there was more time for them, but I love them so much. All of them are so likable in different ways, except for the British guy. All of them are so likable, and you're just like, whoa. This really is a world. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. They're all in New York, baby, which was also a ballsy move considering the whole point. The like start of the first movie is like, oh, we gotta move into the house of my late grandpa / dad, and it's the middle of the country and we don't know anyone. And then in this movie they're like, big city, fuck that town. Oh, I forgot to put this in the miscellaneous section. The main character, Phoebe, she's played by McKenna Grace, who is blonde, and so she wears a wig for the movie. And I was watching it and I was like, oh, that makes sense because her grandpa wasn't blonde and her brother isn't blonde, and like they show her wig, it makes her hair like dark and curly like Trevor's, and oh, it all makes sense. But her mom is literally blonde. McKenna Grace could have just been blonde. She could have used her natural hair. Like, I understand from a filmmaking perspective, you want her to look like her grandpa because she's supposed to be a lot like him, but she could have just been blonde. I'm gonna talk about the finale more because I think that the Ghostbusters finales, Ghostbusters Afterlife and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and like the original and whatever, I think they're extremely good at finales. You can tell that so many things are set up just for them to pay off as hard as they can. It's like you maybe at the start you're like, okay, this is a pretty good movie, and then it just slams you. It like punches you in the face. It clocks you, not as trans, like in the face with a punch, and it's just like, it's really, really nice. You leave the theater and you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And you're like, wow, I really liked how that honored all of the characters and they really backed them up against the wall. And I think Ghostbusters exists in this genre of movie where maybe it's kind of a typical type of movie, maybe with a larger cast than a lot of other movies. I'm getting beat again. But it knows that it is like kind of a typical type of for this genre, and so it's like, okay, we're gonna be the best at this genre that we can, and we're gonna knock it out of the park at the end, and everyone's gonna love it. And I loved it. I love Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I don't know if that was obvious because I was saying bad things about it, but I think I do really love movies and shows with ensemble casts. It's hard to say what character I would want to leave for there to be more time, because I think the scenes they have of the characters, whether they're interacting or they're on their own or they're setting up a plotline, I think that they're well written. I have a speech impediment, and I just wish there was more. I wish there was a scene between it. I don't want the movie to be longer because I feel like a lot of people wouldn't tune in for a longer movie, unfortunately. I think that what they have there is so good. It stumbles over itself in its need to set up 17 other really good plot lines. And it's almost like, okay, my theory for why they did this, because surely someone must have realized, is that they realized we're gonna make a fourth movie out of this shit. And I look forward to it, and I would love to see the fourth movie. I would really, really want to see the fourth movie. Please, Ghostbusters, this is a positive review. Make a fourth Ghostbusters, technically fourth. Another part of my miscellaneous section that's leaking into the good section is I think that they really, really want for the Marshmallow Ghostbusters to be like the new Minions. They're acting minion-y, they look minion-y, they have like weird faces and they giggle a lot, like they sound like minions. And I think that Ghostbusters, I see what you're doing. Don't do it. Don't do it. I think they're charming. I don't like the minions. Please, Ghostbusters. On the day before Easter, the day after Jesus died on Good Friday, don't do it. Since we're getting to the end here, I can tell you the first thing that me and the three friends, it was an event, that I brought to Ghostbusters Frozen Empire said to each other once the movie ended. We looked across at each other and we said, oh my god, lesbians, girls and love and beauty and grace. And I stand by that. I'd say it's one of my favorite parts of the movie, apart from the finale and the action, you know what you get in this movie? You get Yuri. You get girls. And it's amazing. And it's great. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god. They're gonna meet each other again. When McKenna dies, McKenna, that's the actor. When Phoebe dies and goes to meet her across the veil of life, they say their last goodbyes to each other in this movie as Phoebe teaches her how to accept what's happened to her and finishes her unfinished business on Earth. Oh my god. 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 Guys, it's so good. It's so emotional. It's so touching. It's so much. And I love their friendship and I love their relationship. I love the chess callback from Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think that was a great way to introduce her. I even love her corny little flames. I love the scene where she lets her into her house. I love that she was trying to convince her, she was trying to sabotage her own plan at her own expense as a ghost to try to save Phoebe. She was trying to get her away from it, and the betrayal plot. See, Ghostbusters can be really good, and I think that if they introduce that at the start and then they let them have more time, and this new ghost was like the new ghost of the movie, and of course the big bad, whatever, was like the new ghost of the movie, like the new character of the movie, and then they just shuffled some things around. And okay, I'm gonna be mean, they didn't show the original Ghostbusters as much. I think in Ghostbusters Afterlife, you know that Phoebe's the protagonist, and her plot with Podcast and with the main big bad villains, and she comes together with the other plot points from the other characters. I think you know that she's the main character and you're happy with it, and it's really, really tight and good. I just wish they did this here, and I actually liked this movie better than Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I think really tells you something about how many positives there are to this movie and how good it was underneath what you may be thinking of when you think of the fact that they did not need to add in the British guy. Here I wrote down McKenna Grace slaying, and then one of my other miscellaneous points, I didn't really make a good list, I guess, was that I think Finn Wolfhard, the actor, is really good at playing disgusted characters. Like, he has a face he does, and when he does it, you're like, oh, he's grossed out, he's disgusted. He does it better than that, but it's really good. I like McKenna Grace and the acting decisions that she made, where she goes like, oh, I love the bit that they have where they'll give Phoebe two options, and one of them's like a good option, one of them's a bad option. This bit only happens twice, but I think it's really, really funny. And it'll be, are you gonna bite the dog or are you gonna eat your cookie? And then it's a flashback to after she bites the dog. Oh, I love that. I really like that. See, there's so many good payoffs and so many good things and jokes in this movie that you just want to love it. You just want to watch it again so that you can get all the little things. And it's so good. So overall, don't listen to the haters. Watch Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. It's really good. You're really gonna like it. I liked it. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you already watched it, but I really liked it, and I think you should watch it like 5 times. Like, I wish I could, but I can't because I don't want to buy a movie ticket. So I'm gonna wait for it to go on a streaming service or something, and then I'm gonna watch it again. And I really liked it, and I think you should like it. And yeah, there's nothing else weird that's happening in this video.